SMTN.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network Link 370. I'm your host, Spencer Presley, who will hopefully not be sounding too nasally for this episode. I'm here with a very special guest who, thankfully, does not sound like they have a cold like me. I'm here with special guest and toaster enthusiast, Don Bennett. How are you doing today, Don?
I am also recovering from a cold. No, kidding. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am okay. As I mentioned in the show, I don't normally just sound this poindextery or nasally. I had to get like a cold, and it was like those worst timing colds where it's like your weekend just started, you've got a wedding, a bajillion other things you want to go to, you're gonna do a bunch of traveling, and then you just get sick as soon as it starts, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna be a huge man baby and get nothing done all weekend.
Oh, it's the worst. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Well, I just more felt bad for my wife because she's off Monday, and she's like, "Oh, well, are you at least staying home on Monday since you're sick?" And I was like, "Oh God, no! I know, I gotta go to work."
Oh, Godspeed, fam. Godspeed.
But yes, enough about my terrible immune system. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us this week. We're lucky enough to have back-to-back interviews on the show, which will never be met. Or I doubt I can go 3 for 3 next week. So our streak will end with you, but it's a hell of a hot streak. How are you? Who are you? And would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys. I'm Dawn M. Bennett. I am a voice actor. I've been in like a bunch of anime, video games, Western animation, but y'all might know me as Aigis in Persona 3 Reload, and Ty, wow, I can talk. That's my job. Ty in Raidou Remastered.
I mean, hey, at least you didn't say Tay.
I'm Tay in Raidou.
Oh my god, we talked about this. I talked about this last week with Chris. It was like, man, the amount of self-explained comic book guy moments I've had to have now. I'd be like, excuse me, it's not Rado.
Raidou.
Yeah, God, yeah. Everybody loves the Raidou. For some reason, they were like, no, I don't know. I think Raidou it rolls off the tongue better. Better phonomics on it.
But in addition to that, I'm also Kale in Dragon Ball Super, Nabbit in Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Frosh in Fairy Tail, Setsuna Tokage in My Hero Academia, a bunch of other stuff. Y'all got Google. You're listening to this on some kind of internet thingy or a phone or, you know.
Who's ever that one person that if like you ever get come up to at a convention and they're like, "Oh my God, Don, I love you from blank," that you're like, you know what, a real Don super fan of this role. Like, what's the like you get some bonus cred points if they remember that you're in something. Like, what's the one role that stands out to you? They're like, you know, this role needs some more love.
Honestly, when people come up to me for Ritsuka Tachibana, she was my first anime lead ever. And that was like 2015, and it was in this show called Dance with Devils, and it was a musical, and we sang all the musical numbers, and you know, it wasn't like a huge hit show or anything. It only had one season, but very rarely I've had cosplayers come up dressed as Ritsuka, and I'm like, oh my God, you watched the show? Oh, thank God. I'm so
I mean, hey,
happy.
at least you know the real writer dies that way.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because we all loved that show and everyone could sing and we had a blast.
Well, that's always one of those funny ones of like I was trying to explain this to my wife recently of she's very much like a subs over dub and not even from like a preference thing, just from
Hmm.
how she grew up watching a lot of animation.
Hmm.
And I had to explain to her that I was like, "Oh yeah, you know like back in the day, it wasn't even like a rarity like it is now of like, oh yeah, if there's like opening music or singing in the show or movie, like all that also got dubbed. Whereas like nowadays, like I feel like we super take that for granted. Like we never see that get dubbed.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not exactly sure why, just because like I'm not in like that business aspect of it, but I think it's like a licensing thing, or maybe Japan just wants like the seiyuu, since so many seiyus are like musicians, like idols and stuff. Maybe they're just like, we just want them to be the only singers of this, which I get. But yeah, no, back in the day, like I remember, oh gosh, I remember like the Rurouni Kenshin English opening and like all the Four Kids openings, and they're just so nostalgic, and I miss those.
The Four Kids one, and especially the like old Funimation dub openings, are always funny to me
Hmm.
because the more you learn about the industry, especially back then in like the late '90s to like early 2000s, you're like, wow, you like had the same three people singing all these songs.
It meant they were good.
It was
Like
like,
these
sorry
guys.
guys, we have about 100 voice actors out here, but only three of you know how to sing a cover song. I don't know how to break it to you. I was pulling up your thing because I remember I've been mostly aware of you. Like the first time I remember seeing you like in a big role, like for like a lead, was in Fire Emblem Three Hopes as like Shez.
Hmm.
That, which by the way, I cannot believe that game is 3 years old. Like that literally still feels like it came out like a year ago in my brain.
I just realized I forgot to mention Shez. I'm the worst. Ah! I was
I
like,
mean, well, because like you said, you've been doing this for how many years now? Like at least like 10 plus with like your other stuff. Like what year would you say you really got started doing this and like whether it be like big or small roles?
so I got started like really trying to practice voice acting. I got started in 2012 when I was still in college, but I didn't book my first professional gig really until 2014. It was this indie game called Freedom Planet, and I booked the lead Lilac in that one. And it was like a Sonic fan game, and then it just grew into its own thing, and then somehow we got put on the Wii U, which was really cool. Um, but yeah, no, I started like, oh gosh, what year is it? It's 2025. I started 13 years ago. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I've got a bajillion and one things I want to ask you in our limited time here for it, but I like to at least start off with a nice little icebreaker question for you. What have you either been watching, reading, or listening to that's been either rotting your brain or something you've really enjoyed?
Oh gosh, something that's rotting my brain right now. Ooh, it's always when I get asked that question, I'm like, wait, what am I playing right now? What am I playing right now on the
I mean, hey, at
Switch?
least you play stuff. You're not one of those fake voice actor gamers.
Well, okay. So the last thing that I played that I really got heavily into, as in like I binged it all the way on this like 12-hour flight to London and then back, was Tears of the Kingdom.
I,
I
I
I
I
loved
I
it.
still am like I know in my brain I'm like, well, I rolled credits on that game, so that should be enough of it because I my backlog is so horrendously bad. But then the fact that the Switch 2 version's coming out soon, I'm like, well, it would be nice to see how pretty it is. But then I'm like, no, no, don't do it.
No. It was just so good. I played the crap out of it. And then after that, oh gosh, like I think I just got stuck in Balatro, or sorry, Balatro for a while. That's the right way to say it apparently. Ben Starr said so.
I mean, yeah, I mean Ben Starr is an unofficial spokesman for anything he puts his voice to.
I think that's amazing.
But
Ah.
there's a certain like hilarious standard to like the Ben Starr effect of him being in something where it's like
Mhm.
when he gets signed to something like the company should like also know it's like, hey, just letting you know this will lead to an unwarranted amount of extra attention just because of the weird thirsty people online for Ben Starr. And I mean, as one of those thirsty people, I'm not against it.
Oh, he's so cool too. Just a lovely dude.
I've yet to meet him, but like my
Mhm.
my closest tie-in so far has been well. everyone and their mother has been enjoying Expedition 33, and I've been like, listen, this is the most tangentially related of being an RPG on the show possible. I will still try to get him on the show just because I would love to pick that dude's brain.
Oh, for sure. Which that's another game that I also need to play, like Expedition 33. A lot of people have been
It
talking to me about
is
it.
so good, but it's that also that other thing of like it's so heavy at the same time. Like it's very interesting like when people talk about it because it's like it's beautiful, but it's tragic, and it's like it's not like a light game, even though it's not super crazy long, which is nice. But it's that
Mm.
thing of like everyone I've not rolled credits on yet, but it's been so funny of everyone be like, "Oh yeah, I beat the game and I'm devastated." It's like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a changed man after beating Expedition."
It's gorgeous looking. I don't know. I'm also like a sucker for like good UI design. That's why I think Metaphor is so friggin' pretty, which I still need to play Metaphor. I'm very behind.
I mean,
But
we can at least make fun of the fact that Atlas decided to put out at least 5,000 hours worth of RPGs last year, so that was nice. So like this year, ironically, has been a complete breath of fresh air. We're just sitting here being like, oh my god, all we know is Raidou for now. But then they decided to make that tweet yesterday that apparently put everyone into a tizzy. Did you see the tweet they made?
what was the tweet?
So they posted a tweet of an image from that like Persona 5 gotcha game that's only been out in Asia the last like 2 years. It's called Persona 5 X. So
Mm.
they're allegedly teasing that it's coming out soon, or will maybe finally be getting a worldwide release. And what's so funny about it is the amount of, because like I'm so ingrained into this world that I saw that image and I'm like, oh yeah, because like we've known about this project for years. It's been actively out in Asia for multiple months,
Mm.
and when I saw that, I just went, "Oh yeah, they're finally bringing this mobile game out." And the amount of people who just saw that and were like, "Oh my god, Persona 6." Like I was like, "Oh no, we have
No.
to I have to remember that there are normal people out there who don't follow random Chinese mobile game."
But wait, that would also make no sense though, because like it's black and red, and wait.
Well, listen, Don. We've already had stole red once. Persona 2 was red. Now Persona 5 is red. They've had success in
Oh.
it, so clearly, forget green. We're just going to make Persona 5 again, put a 6 on it, and just hope no one notices how much it just looks like Persona 5.
Wait, I need to look at this. Hold on. Let me look at it. Bruh, like they're using the same font and
Oh
like
yeah,
the hat and it's a calling card. No.
it's very funny. The
Guys.
reception to it, I saw yesterday and went, "Oh, that's cool. They're doing the mobile thing." And the amount of people losing their mind in the comments, being like, "Oh my god, it's finally happening! Persona 6 after all these years."
If Persona 6 ever happens, I want it to be like a completely wild new color like pink.
I'm
Vivid
sorry.
pink.
The unless like we've been really like, and I mean they could do some next level big brain trolling on us. It's probably going to be green because they've just been teasing it for like 5 years. They've had like a little green paint can next to all the anniversary merch, so like it's probably going to be green. But like I'm here with you. I'm like, I think that they need to like either go crazy with the colors because it's like,
Mhm.
no offense to green isn't like as poppy. It's hard because like you're going from like even the previous colors, like we had purple, red, orange, blue, red, yellow. Now we got
Mhm.
green.
I mean, I think it depends on the shade of green. You could have like a really nice neon green. But like I think the problem with green, because when you said green, my brain went to P4, but P4 is yellow, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, and then like, green is like kind of close to yellow. So I don't know. Primary colors
Oh, I
or
know. Well, and I'm
complementary
over here being
colors.
like, you guys should use one of those fun new colors. And I'm like, well, Spencer, I've got bad news. There's only so
No.
many colors on the rainbow.
Also, excuse me, I just sneezed.
Well, but hey, listen, maybe they will pull something crazy out of their hat and be like, you know what? Reverse Uno card. We're giving Persona 6's Blurple. It'll be blue purple. No one will be ready for it.
Oh my blurple.
I mean, just saying Blurple would be more than fun enough with it. But I guess actually kind of talking about um, stuff that we have coming up with it. So as we mentioned, our very long tangent from typos to Raidu and Tay to T over here. You are in the, at least for now, the only Atlas game that we have announced this year. Thank God for my time and wallet aside. Um, you're one of the illustrious six who were recently announced with it. How has the reception been? You've had at least, there's a couple of clips of you out there for it. How has the reception been from what you've seen online? Slash, are you excited for the game to come out?
People have been so lovely because I'll read the comments and they'll be like, "Oh, it's Aigis." I'm like, so Here's the thing. I actually don't know a lot about Raidou, but my
Hi, welcome to
roommate.
America. It's nice to meet you. Uh, Yeah, we talked about this last week. It was like, listen, I will never fault anyone for not knowing all the intricacies of Shin Megami Tensei and its long lineage. Raidou especially, because it's like, listen, that game was not doing itself any favors with all those colons.
So like, so I don't know a lot about it, but my roommate Ben Balmaceda is a huge Shin Megami Tensei fan. Like when we moved in together, he had a lot of Jack Frost plushies, and they're still here. They're in our living room,
I was gonna
and
say
so
I might have to request a picture of this.
oh, for real. I'll have to ask him. But like he's like a crazy person. He is so good at all of these games and like, plays like the Persona games on like Merciless or whatever the hardest difficulty is. And then when he heard I was going to be in Raidou, he was like, "What? I love Raidou!" Like just talking to me about it, and he's like, "Raidou's like the coolest favorite. He's like my favorite character ever." And I'm like, "Wait, really?" And so he's just been telling me all about this because yeah, I don't know. I think it's neat that there's like especially Jack Frost like exists in all of these games and like they're all like interconnected somehow. At least it feels like that to me because I don't know a lot outside of Persona. I don't know a lot about like Shin Megami Tensei. So, it's really neat to be like a part of that world again, but in a different universe or I mean, I don't know. Y'all know better than I do, honestly.
Well, and that's kind of one of the fun things about Shin Megami Tensei as a universe in general, how wide it gets in terms of, I mean, Persona is always such a funny one. Of people will look at those and be like, you've got action games, RPGs, tactic RPGs, dancing games, visual novels, all sorts of stuff like that. Whereas like the settings that Shin Megami Tensei does as a whole is always what's so fun, and that's why the Devil Summoner games have been so popular because the original, way back in the 90s, was kind of like, and similar with the original Soul Hackers, was kind of like, imagine a like Shin Megami Tensei game placed in like a futuristic Blade Runner Tokyo like setting, and
Mm-hmm.
then go many years without anything, and then they put out Devil Summoner Raidou 1, which was similar in terms of the devil summoning mechanics, but a completely different like setting and a completely different like battle setting, a lot more action oriented,
Mm-hmm.
and something about Raidou I think is a mixture of like the setting, the story, and just the character design of Raidou stands out so much. Even though what's really funny is if you ever look at Demi-Fiend from Nocturne, the shirtless guy with the
Yeah.
tattoos, if you ever put a jacket and a hat on him, it is basically just the same dude. But it's like, but it's only if you do that. As long as you leave him shirtless with the tattoos out, then you're like, all right, I can at least unsee this now.
No, I love it. It's just so cool, and I'm excited to like see like with Raidou like oh this different setting it's in like old school Japan.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
pretty.
the funny thing also with the Taisho era is I think with how big Atlas games are into music, I'm ready for so many people to finally listen to those soundtracks because they are just so kind of like it's like a weird mixture because it's like the soundtrack is like jazzy but noiry but still has a very clear like Japanese sound to it. So
Mhm.
especially like if you have not played the games before, or if you're just someone who enjoys putting the music on in the background with it, like there's so much to really enjoy about those games. Plus, similar with like Expedition 33, it is not a
Mhm.
crazy long game. It's like a 25 to 30 hour long RPG.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like it. Shoot, if you're saying the music's really good, that's why I got into Persona in the first place. Was I really liked the music and the character designs especially. So, I'm excited.
Well, and what's also cool to be as a fan, kind of getting towards. Oh, by the way, very weird because like we're like a month and some change away from this game coming out, which does not feel real.
Wow.
Because like I'm still getting used to the fact that like we didn't even know about this game officially until last month. So I
Hmm.
always am a fan of like release cycles like this, where it's like leave it as late as possible and just kind of give us as much information to be as excited about with everything.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I'm also excited because like it's my buddy Stephen Fu as Raidou. And I'm like, I love you, Stephen Fu. He's such a sweetie. And oh my gosh, I've known Stephen Fu since like our death battle days.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we were in a death battle together.
Wait, which one?
It was Dante versus Bayonetta. He played Dante, and I was in there as Jean, helping out Bayonetta. And that was how I met him. Like I happened to be recording right after him, and Marissa Lenti at Sound Cadence was like, "Oh, Don, this is Stephen Fu." I'm like, "Hi," and he's like, "Hi," and he hasn't changed in a good way. Like he's just this like bright-eyed, has a lovely infectious laugh, just a very warm dude. And in all the years that I've known him, nothing has changed about that. Like he's obviously booking way more, but he's still like that very down to earth, like happy go lucky dude. And he's every time I see him like killing it now, because I think he's in Marvel Rivals, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's like in Marvel Rivals, and then he's in Raidou, and then he was in like ZZZ. And I was like, look at you, Stephen Fu. You go, Stephen Fu. Let's go.
I mean, listen, I would say Raiden was a bigger deal, but then I remember about like the thigh tax of Marvel Rivals, and I'm like, you can't really compare the thighs from Raiden to Marvel Rivals, so I'll take the loss on that one. Kind of going back for Raiden, at least for you, what was the experience like recording that game for you? I know recording wasn't recently, but from what you can remember with it, were there any kind of highlights about the process for it, or any idea, or any kind of highlights that stood out to you about the role?
I think like I don't know if it's necessarily a highlight, but I always like working with Atlas. They're just very friendly, sweet people. And with Ty, like I just remember the sassiness. I remember having so much fun being this sassy. I believe she's a detective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not a detective, a reporter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I apologize to all the diehard fans out there who are like, she is getting this wrong. What a fake fan. But again, I'm new to it. But I just remember enjoying like she's sassy, but she's still warm. She's not like annoyingly sassy. Um, but yeah, I apologize. That's all I really remember about
No,
it.
you're good because I'm trying to think of the timelines for all this with it. You would have definitely been done with Persona 3 by this time, right?
That I can't specify.
No, you're good. Cause yeah, I was just trying to remember about like my brain about like how long ago I know all those were, with
Mm-hmm.
everything. But because I know you've been in Persona, you've been in Unicorn Overlord and Raidou. Are
Yeah.
there any other Atlas ones I'm forgetting?
I think that might be it because like with Persona, I was also in Strikers as shopkeepers, and in Tactica I played some NPCs like not named really, and then P3
I
happened.
really should have gaslit everyone and been like, guys, we've got the shopkeeper from Persona 5 Strikers in the show today. We will only be taking shopkeeper questions.
No, it was so funny because that was my first Persona game I ever got into, And I was like furiously just writing down like, okay, where is this shopkeeper? I want to go find them. Where is this one? I want to go find them. Oh God, what was the name of that one? I want to go find them. Like, because like they're all like bit characters who have maybe like 2 or 3 lines. Just like, oh, welcome in. Would you like that? Thanks again. Like very very short. But as a Persona fan, I was like, I need to know where I am so I can find me later.
I mean, what a jump though to go from shopkeep to one of the main characters in a mainline Persona game. That's got to be very very wild.
I cried. Oh my God. It was I just couldn't believe it. Cuz like the thing with Persona, I loved Persona 5. I still need to finish Royal. Please again, fans, don't murder me. I haven't finished Royal.
I mean,
But
listen, if they wanted you to finish both, they would have included a save transfer option.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm playing through it, and I think I'm still within base game. I mean, we do have Kasumi.
Hmm.
That's her name, right? The redheaded girl.
Yeah, yeah, the redheaded
Um,
girl.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely got to her. So I don't mind playing through it again. I'm like seeing, oh, what are the differences between like Royal and base game? But I loved it so much. And I remember thinking, man, I would love to be in something like this. Like, all the performances are great, and everyone sounds so happy to be there, and everyone's like so passionate in their performances. I'm not good enough, though. I don't think
Oh
I'll
my
ever be in something like
gosh.
that. And I told Xander Mobus this, who plays Joker. And he was like, give it a sec. Give it a sec. He's like, I think you're absolutely ready. And Erica Harlicker, who plays on, when I said I didn't think I was ready to move to LA, she was like, I think you are. I don't know what you're talking about. So, like, both of them encouraging me. And then, P3 happens, and I was telling Xander all that, like, dude, you told me I could do it. And he goes, yeah, I knew you could, because if not this, whatever the next Persona game will be, like, you were going to end up in this franchise one way or another. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, man.
If you don't mind me asking, where were you living before you moved to LA?
So, before I moved to LA, I lived in Dallas for most of my life. I went to college in Boston for 3 years, came back to Dallas, and that's when I started voice acting for Funimation. And I was there from 2014 to 2019, and then I moved December 2019 and enjoyed LA for 3 months. And
Was that
COVID.
until 2020 or what happened after 3 months?
Then COVID
Oh,
happened.
okay. I had to. I didn't want to just immediately assume it was like maybe it was March 2019. I'm not sure.
No, no, December 2019. Enjoyed LA from then until March 2020. And I was like, hooray, we're all inside now.
Yeah, LA is a lot less glamorous when you're stuck inside.
I was living in an apartment that was $500 a month, which sounds like a steal until you realize there's no air conditioning.
Ooh, yeah. No, no, thanks.
And I managed to record in a sliding door closet video games, anime. Like, we made, because all the actors, we were all scrambling, like, well, we still need to work somehow. And we built our home setups and everything. And I made it work. The inside of my closet was just covered in this, like, studio quality foam. But there was no air circulation in there. So I would record for maybe 30 minutes, and I'd open the door and I'd be just sopping wet. It was hell. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
we
hey, it would
made
make those
do.
really intense scenes that no one can really no one's gonna say you were half-assing it then.
Oh gosh, I remember, like, I recorded some characters for Smite in that thing. I recorded oh gosh, Magia Record in that, which is a spin-off of Madoka Magica. Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff. But yeah, sorry, where was I going with that? Yeah, that's when
No,
I
no,
got
no,
to
you were
LA.
good. Because I was just asking about what you were doing kind of before then with it.
Hmm.
Um, Have you been enjoying, at least in a sort of less quarantined LA life? How have you been enjoying it compared to Texas?
Oh, I love it. I think like, of course I miss my friends back in Texas and that's where I was born, but Los Angeles it it gives you so many more opportunities because there's way more studios out here. Like so much is made here. Um and with Dallas, you were kind of limited to working for like one or two studios there. Like for the most part, Funimation, which is now Crunchyroll. But if you weren't really booking there, unless you were doing like audiobooks or commercials or stuff, if you were just trying to do anime or video games and you weren't booking there or at Gearbox, which is in Frisco, that was just kind of it. Whereas out here in LA, there's so many different video game studios that you could be auditioning for. It's just being able to cast like a wider net, you know. And yeah, no, I've loved it so much, and I've gotten to do so many cool things. Like I got to do mocap for Spider-Man. Oh gosh, was it the Miles Morales game or Spider-Man 2?
I mean, they all kind of bleed together at that point.
Whichever one had the flame in it, because I played this
Oh,
flame
yeah, that'd be
cultist
Spider-Man 2.
member. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a short little scene. I had played this cultist, just like like bit lines and stuff, and then they hit me up saying, "Hey, we have your cultist for a quick mocap scene. You want to come in?" And I'm like, "Hey, I don't know how to do mocap. Is that okay?" And they're like, "That's fine. We'll teach you." And it was
I was
so
gonna say, I feel
cool.
like mocap is you got to be able to fake it till you make it with that. Like, listen, how many balls can they really stick on you before you're like, how do I act with this amount of balls on me?
No, but like I just want them to be sure. Like, are you sure?
They're gonna ask you. They're
If
gonna
you want to
ask you
get
to
someone
T pose.
else.
You're gonna do a lowercase t, and everyone's gonna laugh at you.
The funny thing too is that I had just taken my first mocap class ever, maybe like a week or two prior. So I'm like, did they know?
Is that like a
No.
thing? Like, is there like a
Hmm.
specific like go to mocap school?
Not necessarily. Well, I don't know if there is a school, but I took it through these guys called the Mocap Vaults, and they teach in the UK and they also teach here. And it's Richard Dorton, which, if you didn't know, Richard Dorton was one of the heads on oh gosh, that three-headed dragon thing in Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, what is the name of the dragon?
I
I
want to
forget.
say Gamera. No, it's probably not. I'm thinking of
Ghidorah?
another one.
Ghidorah?
Ghidorah, yeah.
I think so. And whichever one is like the derpy head, like the silly one, that was Richard. That's what he says. That's what he tells us. And yeah, he teaches it here. He teaches it in the UK, I believe. And I told him later. I said, "Hey, I booked my first mocap gig," and he's like, "Wait, really?" Because I was so new. But he taught us how to T pose, like because it's kind of like being in the army where you have to come back to attention. So
Hmm.
like we would do like our actions and he'd be like, "All right, T pose," and we would just have to snap back immediately. So I learned that. I learned like um when you first go in for mocap, they have to like do some kind of calibration. So they ask you to like show all of your range of motion with like your limbs, your joints and all that. I already knew how to do that because of Richard. So it was it was a funny coincidence but super helpful. And what was really cool, going back to like Persona, is I did my scene and we did like a few takes of it, of course. And it was really cool seeing Yuri Lowenthal like jump down in front of me as Spider Man. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Spider Man. This is really neat. Oh, I'm gonna die now.
I remember that's got to be so absolutely wild. Just because like I remember the first time I ever talked to Yuri Lowenthal for the show was so funny. Of like, man, I want to ask you so many persona related questions, but just because he'd been in so many already before. But it's like, bro, I could just talk to this dude about Ben 10 all day. I don't even need to talk about persona. Like he's been in like so many just crazy amount of things like for like acting that I was like, like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like talk this guy's ear off because like if there is such a thing as like the like like you know how like there will always be those guys be like, oh yeah, like I'm a super hetero dude, but like Ryan Gosling, he's super hot though. I always put like Yuri Lowenthal is like the Ryan Gosling of voice actors. Like, listen, that man does not get enough respect.
I was gonna say that man does not age.
Oh, I was very insulted. I wasn't one of those people when like they changed the faces in Spider-Man. I wasn't like,
Mm.
"Oh man, we got to go back to the first game's face." I was like, "No. No, cuz they're like, "Oh, well, the first guy's face didn't really match Yuri, so we got to find a second guy's face for it." And I was like, "Am I taking crazy pills here? Can we not just use Yuri Lowenthal's beautiful man face?"
He is very beautiful. No, it was cool because the scene in question had both him and Tara in the
Oh
scene because
yeah,
Tara is
yeah,
Wraith.
because that's where Yuri's in. Oh man, yeah, and that always gets very weird. It's like Yuri is talking to a character named Yuri in the scene that you're in.
Hmm. But they were also so lovely because we went to lunch and we were chatting, and they said, "Man, you were great. Like, how long have you been doing this?" I'm like, "Guys, this is my first day, and I really
Oh man,
appreciate that because I don't know what I'm doing." But what was funny too is in this scene, because it was the only scene I did for the game. In this scene, my character gets knocked back by Wraith and just knocked unconscious. And I had a stunt double. I had a stunt double who had her own mat, but I saw her doing it, and I had a face cam on. Like, I had all my dots and I had a face
hmm
cam. And I'm like, man, she's really hitting the floor. I should hit the floor. And so we kept doing it, but I didn't have a mat. So I was just flinging myself onto the floor. And after like 6 takes, one of the guys comes over and he's like, "Dawn, do you want a mat?" And I'm like, "I should probably get a mat, huh?"
you were just going too method. You were in the role.
Because, like, I thought, okay, well, if I hit the mat, then the face cam will capture, like the painful grimace on my face when I hit it. So it'll make it even more realistic. I was just having a blast.
That's super awesome though, and I mean, considering as well like that you also like play a lot of stuff in your free time. Do you often like have those like I'm trying to think of, like a good comparison. The only thing my brain goes to is like that one SpongeBob meme of like him pointing to himself on the TV, like, "Oh, there I am." Like, do you ever have those weird moments when you're playing something if like you're not like a main character of just being like, "Oh, hey, I'm playing Spot the Dawn," and then it's there, or is it just kind of like, "Oh, it comes up when it comes up"?
I would say it comes up when it comes up for sure. Um, but yeah, the Spider-Man thing was definitely the one for me. Where I was like telling all my friends, like, look, I'm there. I think another one would probably be like Borderlands 3, just because I play half of the female. I just realized this is like a typecast. I play half of the female cultists in that game. I promise I'm not a cultist. Please. Please don't go after
I
me.
mean, listen. What I was gonna say, like, should I prepare to be disappointed now that you've moved for you to not be half of the female options in Borderlands 4? Can I save some copium?
Nah. But like with Borderlands 3, I play half of them, and the other half is Sarah Wiedenheft, who voices like the higher ones. But it was always so cute, like, watching friends play it. Because I'll be real with you, I tried playing Borderlands 3. I'm not very good at the game. Um, which, that's the thing. There's a lot of games that I've played that I'm in that I'm not very good at. Monster Hunter, for instance. I'm not very good at Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
um,
I mean, at least those are all very understandable. Of like, there's a commitment to Monster Hunter. No one's ever gonna be like, I don't know. Are you sure you don't want to like form a new grip with your hand just to play this one video game?
no, but yeah, with Borderlands 3, it was so funny just like watching people play and kill me because the lines in that game are so unhinged. The writers just always have fun. Like, oh gosh, I think I remember one of them was like, I get shot, and my dying line is like, "Ugh, joke's on you. I soiled myself."
So I've actually played an ungodly amount of all the Borderlands games. So like I
Yeah.
don't know how I hadn't like put two and two together with it, but I'm like, oh yeah, no, I've probably heard that like 1,000 times now that you mention it.
Oh, absolutely. And I also played Shiga, who was a side quest in Borderlands 3. Shiga is Tiny Tina's ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm like holding like the skag hostage or something.
Um, kind of going back a little bit, but I guess also a little bit ahead for it. Sort of
Yeah.
going to 2023 when you were announced to be Aigis in Persona 3 for it. Was that one of those ones? Because I remember, I don't think you were announced right away. Because I know they had kind of like spread out the announcement of all who was in it for it. But do you remember what that was really like? Of like once you kind of came out as that? Because obviously, voicing a character in a old PS2 game like Raidou, where there was no voice acting, and now being the first version of it, compared
Mhm.
to, oh, no big deal, I'm now just bringing a new voice to this character who's been around since like 2006. A little bit kind
Mhm.
of different, especially for a character like Aigis. What was the reception of that kind of like for you even back when that was announced?
Oh gosh, it's I think people were unsure at first because I was mostly known for like playing characters close to like this range in my voice. Like Shez, for instance, from Fire Emblem. Shez sits very close to my regular speaking voice. Or Kale, who's big and buff and meaty. And people were unsure, like, oh gosh, how is I guess going to sound? Like Dawn's clearly an alto. Um, but it was cool because they were starting to look through my resume and stuff and then hear what she could possibly sound like. And one person really nailed it. They pulled up a character I played in this anime, this very dark anime called Wonder Egg Priority. I played this character named Nehru Aonuma. And she sort of sits up here and is very, very stoic, and especially when talking about death. And people caught it and they're like, I think she's gonna sound like that. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah. And it was nice because then people were like, okay, she can clearly do that. All right, we're fine, we're set. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, nah, for the most part, people were really chill, which I appreciate because I was so nervous about that, because like when it comes to like taking on these legacy roles, the previous cast, they're all freaking legends. Like y'all know them, y'all have known them since like childhood, and stepping into those shoes is very very scary. So it was really nice like having a warm welcome from Atlas fans, and especially for a project that we all love so much. Like our C's group loves Persona, and I don't know. I feel like you can tell with all of us.
Yeah, that was the funny thing, especially leading up to that game, because there was definitely a good leeway up until it coming up, but the announcement was so close to it just because it was so out of left field. It was very funny the lead up to it of kind of getting used to everybody's take on the characters, even sort of before the trailers, was very interesting from the community aspect. I remember one of the biggest kind of shocks for me was someone I connected with pretty shortly after the reveal was Justice. And what was so funny was I had talked with Justice for like hours before ever hearing him as Akihiko. Uh,
Really?
and
Oh,
I'm sorry, not Akihiko, as
Justice? Yeah.
Shinjiro. And I
Yeah.
was like, after talking to him, I was like, "Wow, Justice, you're great." I don't know how you're going to do this character though, because they are just so totally different, like from his natural voice. Of like,
Hmm.
I totally kind of lose it there with it, and very similar to you of like the kind of characters that you do in terms of like I would say a lot of roles I'm more familiar with. I guess is such a tough one. I mean, she's tough in general, just in the sense of she does what not a lot of characters do of like she really kind of grows in terms of how her like communication in her like just the way she talks throughout the course of the game and stuff with it, and it's kind of hard to really be like, okay, well here's when you first meet Aigis versus here's episode Aigis.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Oh.
that stuff is always very very interesting, and like that's kind of the ones I give the most sort of credit to, especially with you guys. Of I always liked Aigis as a character. It was really funny. I always enjoyed Persona 3 as a game, but it was never like I didn't hold it in as high of regard as some other people for it. Just because some people have like their personal favorites with it, and it was one of like, oh, I really liked what it did, but Reload was such a funny one of it. Kind of gave me such a nice uh like the fresh coat of paint on everything was a good way of kind of re-examining it after so many years for me, even as someone who's kind of surrounded by all of this so much. And a large part of that honestly was due to the new voice acting, because with the Japanese release, for example, it is all just the same characters. It's all the same voices I've heard since like 2006, and they all do a fantastic job, but it kind of makes it feel a little bit more familiar, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that not only did the new casting kind of stand up on their own in terms of the characterizations of the characters, but also led to fun other moments as well, whether it be something like, oh, here's the original voice of Akihiko now as like the police sergeant, or like here's where like these characters are instead. It kind of like just almost led to its own little fun game of like who's going to get like who's going to voice who, and like see where it kind of
Hmm.
makes sense.
Oh, for sure. No,
Uh,
like I was so excited to this is kind of silly. It's my own little geeked out moment when I was playing through P3, cuz I don't think he was in the original cast, but when I learned that the pharmacist was Fred Tatasciore, I flipped out. I was going to say a different word, but I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this
No, you can
podcast.
curse. I mean, we only
Okay, I
pretty much
flipped
talk
my
about
shit.
M-rated games. I'd be a little embarrassed if it was like no swearies though.
I flipped my shit when I learned that Fred Tatasciore was in this game with all of us, because he is literally one of my favorite voice actors ever. And being in this game, this franchise that I love so much, just little dreams come true here and there.
You know what? That actually makes me think about something I am always kind of surprised I never hear more people talk about, of like other actors that either like mean a lot to other people and stuff for it. Like what what is it about like Fred or anyone else out there who is like what's something that either stands out for you, or when you see in an actor that you're like, "Oh man, like I really latch onto this."
So I have two specifically that I latch onto for like acting goals. Fred Tatasciore, he is most well known as the Hulk in many like different video games and shows and stuff, and he is my favorite performance, like my favorite interpretation of the Hulk. I feel like he really gets the character so well, like the depression and like fighting for control inside like this huge monster that has issues. Um he's just so good, and he's also a phenomenal creature actor. I took a creature class that he taught, and he was just so crazy and amazing. He taught us all how to make bird noises, and like that was like one of them. It was just such a fun workshop. He taught us how to make bird noises, which I'll see if I can do it, like a little like parakeet. And I did that. I got curious. I did that when I was at a zoo, and this coyote like walked up to the cage and was just staring at me like, bird, bird.
Very large bird.
Yeah, he kept like cocking his head like, what, why do you sound like bird? You are person. And I was so excited. I showed Fred later at a con, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, he's coming up to you." I think he's a phenomenal creature actor, and like in my opinion, heavily underrated. Deserves way more love and way more attention. Um, and then besides him, Ashley Johnson, who is
Oh
Ellie
yeah.
in The Last of Us, but I know her as like Tara from Teen Titans. Oh gosh, her character Tulip in Infinity Train. Like, Ashley is such a great actor when it comes to, again, like, it's kind of like the same with Fred. Like, these actors who are so good at acting out like inner turmoil, and they just make it so real and raw, and just acting goals, both of them. They're so good.
My only complaint with Ashley Johnson always ends up being the same. I need her to be in more things. That's the problem.
Yes.
Can Ashley be in
Yes.
more? I'm just saying, like, listen, D&D's fun. I get it. Can we get you to be in more things though?
Put her in every show and game. She's so good.
I will say though, have you watched any of the new season of The Last of Us?
No, no, I haven't. I'm so behind.
So, not a spoiler at all, but she is actually not seen in it, but it's her singing in one of the episodes as like the outro moment, and it is so good. I was so I gave them so much props that they specifically included like her cover of a song.
I love that so much. That's so cool.
But speaking of, as much as I would love to just talk about growing pains and Ashley Johnson all day, um, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, you had a very weird opportunity, not only being Aigis in Persona 3 Reload, you actually got to come back surprisingly quickly and went from main party member to playable protagonist with episode Aigis. What was that like for you, especially because I know that wasn't the original plan, but I was always so shocked that not only that it happened, that how kind of quickly we got it. Like the fact that we got it honestly in a couple of months after the release is very, very wild.
I just remember at the time thinking, Arsene's mine now, Joker. Suck it, Xander.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do about it. It's true.
And oh my gosh, Xander was pissed when I was telling him that. He's like, it's a different Arsene. I'm like, oh no, it's Joker's Arsene. It's mine
That's
now.
true. It's the head canon. Everything's canon when you think about it.
Oh gosh, like it's just so many memes to be had because I had asked people when we announced the answer and when Joker got announced as a DLC fight, which I didn't even know. I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is hilarious!" And I was like, "Hey, Twitter, can you please redraw the Ultimax cover art of Aigis suplexing
Oh,
you and change it to Joker?" And so many people responded to the point where I was like, I need to have this as a print. So I currently have in progress an Aigis suplexing Joker print for Anime Riverside because both Xander and I are going,
oh,
and I
that's all.
want.
Do you know, by the way, that there is a Figma of Aigis doing that suplex?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, I still need to buy it.
Yes, because what was funny about it was they had already done one for Aegis like in the past, but like when they announced Ultimax, I don't know who. I wish I could like find it. Like whoever did that drawing of the suplex, like that image has lasted almost longer than that game. Like that image is just so out of control, but is so funny of just like the like image of him doing that. Like it's just like getting just suplex and like what was crazy too is they even made a custom headpiece for you Narukami that you can then put on other Figmas of them like with like the white eyeballs like blacking out and stuff with it. It is very very cool. Yeah, if you have not gotten a chance to get it, please 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 get it. Those Figmas are very expensive for the tiny amount of plastic they are, but very funny to have though.
No, I love it. I need to. I was gonna say, speaking of expensive, I did pre-order the life-size Aigis bust.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I figured that you just get one for pro bono. You get the
No.
they just be like, well, let us know. Similar with the Raidou Collector's Edition, you just get one free. You get the most expensive version of everything you're in for the rest of your life.
No. So that's the thing. I kept asking friends, like, I was asking Alejandro Saab, who plays Akihiko, which he's the worst person to ask. I was like, I don't know, man, that's a lot of money. Should I get it? And he's like, yeah, dude, freaking get it. And then he told me later, he's like, dude, why did you ask me? You know, I would get it if I was playing her. Of course yeah.
What you
He's like, don't
need to
ask me.
do is just treat it like a timeshare, where like really what it is like the whole cast buys it, but it stays at your house. So if
Wait,
anyone wants to see the figure, they have like the bust, they have to go over to your place. The lot like it'll come out of your hermetically sealed chamber in your basement, and then they can appreciate it.
oh gosh, like the thing too is that with our living space, I'm like, gosh, that thing is massive. Where am I even gonna put it? I don't know.
I would see. I just would imagine it's like part of the vanity. Like you just put like all your necklaces on it or hats.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of doing that. You're a genius.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna give her a hat.
I mean, listen, the amount of like goofy dress up things you could do, it's practically going to pay for itself in like, I assume the tens of pennies you'll make on TikToks.
Oh, I know, right? TikTok. Just it's fine. I'll just have a bunch of like Twitch streams. Just camera on the Iga statue.
I mean, honestly, yeah. With it, we'll just we'll pretend that no one knows you've already ordered it, and they'll be like, "All right, guys, we're streaming till we can afford the Aigis bust." They'll be like, "Look, it showed up so fast. Thanks, everybody."
Thanks, guys. Man. Oh gosh, I mean most of the price was for the expedited shipping.
That's true.
Nah.
Yeah, there was at least it was a 13-man unload crew from Freight just to get it up those stairs.
But but yeah, sorry, like with the answer. Oh gosh, it was so cool. Like I was so excited when I learned we were going to dub it after all. That it was going to be a thing after all. Um and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to get to say all of the persona names. This is so neat." And getting to like see her story in the updated graphics and everything. And I was really excited to figure out, "Oh, I wonder who Metis is going to be." And it's Lizzie Freeman who absolutely kills it. Um so yeah, it was just so neat. Like, and again, going from someone who's my first game was Persona 5 and I loved it, and then getting to be in like Persona 3 Reload and getting to be in a sense the pro tag in the DLC, and then getting to fight Joker. It's like it all felt very cathartic, like, very full circle. Um so yeah, very, very, very cool.
I mean, now all we need to get is somehow a good excuse for you to go back and dub the dancing games, just so you can now voice all of those horrific lines in English.
Wait, why are they horrific?
I mean, I shouldn't say horrific. Very unhinged. Those games. When I play through those games, it's like, it's more scary when you realize these are canon. Like someone had to like think of, all right, guys, why would we, in the middle of this very dangerous moment of the story, all be like, you know what? I think we need to have an all-night dancing marathon, or else the end of the world will happen.
I mean, I feel like that's how all rhythm games go. It's like we must dance or everyone will die.
See, I must be my like growing up on like DDR. I just always look at all rhythm games and be like, no, like you're just playing the music. Like that's it's just that.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to dub those, and like, oh, especially I think I like the outfits from those games the most cuz they're just so
The Aegis
stylish.
outfit from the dancing is so nice. I mean, honestly, all of Aegis's outfits are really nice. The problem though, Aegis horrifically expensive to cosplay correctly.
Oh, for sure.
Whereas ironically, Tay very very cheap. That's like a real quick like go to a Savers on a Thursday afternoon, pick up some cosplay and you're done with her.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I would say she's not like the simplest character that people could cosplay. I played a character once where all you have to do is just buy a chicken kigu,
That's
and
true.
I did.
Unfortunately, you need like the weather to not want to melt you from the inside wearing those kigus, though. That's the tricky part with those.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I live in California.
You just buy it and then it stays in the closet, never to be worn again.
I only wear it during like December or something when it's like kind of colder out.
I'm just imagining like yeah, like what is cold for LA standards? Like 55.
Probably like 60s, at least for me, because I get cold easy.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm not taking you for too long. So I'm going to ask you a very hard Sophie's Choice question for myself, and then we'll wrap this up with some fan questions. Okay?
Sure.
So we were talking about other Persona 3 projects. You get one choice to dub yourself as Aigis. Which one do you pick and why? You can pick the dancing spin-off, the fighting game spin-off, or the movies.
The movies.
The correct answer. That was that was the correct answer.
Oh my god, I want to do the movie so bad.
Those upset me that never got any form of dub from over here, which is just the
Mm.
most wild thing because it's like if it was like a one-off I would kind of understand, but it's like there's four completely beautiful feature-length movies just waiting there and no one's done it yet.
I don't know why. Also, I didn't even know there were four. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they did. The way the movies work is there's one for each season. So it's like Falling Down, some pun on winter, Spring of Life. But yes, they are very, very good.
Ooh. Please, Atlas Senpai, one day, please.
Unfortunately, no, we have to beg Aniplex. I wish it was as easy as annoying. If it was annoying
Oh, it's
Atlas, I think we could have gotten it
Aniplex.
done by now. We have to beg Sony and Aniplex to do it.
Oh. See, again, y'all know more about this than I do. I didn't even realize.
No, it's okay. I think unfortunately, the more you learn about it, the more it gets more painful when you realize the legal hoops you then have to jump through. It's better to not know these things.
Aniplex Senpai, please.
But yes, let us get into some fan questions so I don't keep you too long. But
Okay.
let me get these pulled up here. I've got these pulled up in no particular. I'm sure you were very shocked to hear this. We had a lot of people who were very excited you were going to be on the show. You were probably like honestly the most requested person we've had to come on the show even before you were announced to be in Raidou Remastered.
Oh, really? Aw.
Well, I think it was just one of those things of like Aigis is just such a character who means so much to like so many people in general, and honestly, like not like to toot your own horn and stuff with it, but it's like the way you portrayed that character just brought so much life and stuff to it that I think it really just stuck with so many people in terms of like not only loving the character but also then just kind of being like, oh hey, I really like what you do. I want to follow and see what else you do out there.
Well, thank you so much.
By the way, who do I have to thank slash bribe who brought all of like the C's cast members together for like that like 1 year anniversary like videos you guys did? Because like I was so shocked that Atlas actually did that. That's like one of those things like you always want companies to do but like never end up actually happening.
So that I would say you need to thank a few people. The marketing folks at Atlas, Isabella, who was our contact. Which Isabella was also the reason why I got to go to the Golden Joysticks and chill with Sega there when I got nominated for Best Supporting Performer for Aigis. Isabella at Atlas, she's so lovely. And then Alex coordinated all of us. He was the one who passed that on to us, saying, "Hey, do you guys want to do this thing?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's do this thing." He truly is our leader.
Well, it was
Like
just it
it's
was
yeah,
extra funny, especially kind of coming off of his live stream playthroughs of like it almost just kind of felt like an epilogue to those.
yeah. Oh, it was so much fun. I'm so happy we got to do it. You know.
By the way, do you have any highlights from actually getting to like meet up and do those in person? Like, was there like a favorite moment you had from those?
Oh, from doing like the anniversary streams and
Hmm.
stuff? Oh my gosh. Just Justice constantly trying to retell Alejandro's wasabi joke. And he's just like, I'm gonna fit it in. Which uh I can't remember if I think it might have gotten cut, but the reason because if you guys saw the anniversary stream video, we had a segment where we were trying to like make each other laugh while one of us had like water in our mouths. And Allegra was really hard to break. And I think at one point, like Alex carries Justice over, and Justice is like right next to Allegra. He's like, what did the sushi say to the bee? Wasabi. And Allegra didn't budge. And like, I think this might have gotten cut or like the beginning of it, but Justice like leaned into Allegra and goes, I don't think you heard me. And she goes, it was, oh god, it was so good. Justice is just our residential troll, and he's
Yeah, I
fantastic.
don't. I still don't know how he's a real person, and I've met him before. So that's like, I went down because I went down to L.A. literally for like a 6 hour like meetup trip of like fly in, go to this event for 3 hours, and then fly back. And I remember just like texting him, was like, "Hey, I'm near L.A. and I have something for you. Do you want me to like drop this off anywhere? If are you like really busy?" And he said, "Hold on, send me your location." All right, I'm walking there now. And it was like 7 in the morning.
Oh,
And I'm like, mind you, we've only ever talked online. This was like the first time we'd ever met. He was like, just wait there. I'm just going to meet you. And then the best part was I was with a
oh.
bunch of like other Atlas fans, but this was like for like an SMT5 thing. And
Hmm.
I talked with him for a couple minutes, said hi, hugged goodbye, and then left. And then what was funny is after they all left, he was like, "Hey, who was that guy?" You know? Well,
Oh.
because it was like, well, I don't want to just make it a whole thing because I already felt bad. He already walked down there with it, but it was just so funny, and it was like one of those funny moments of being like, you know what? I feel like I would tell you, but you would not believe me.
Oh, I love it.
Kind of though, speaking about like cutting stuff or things not making it. Their first question comes from Harry Oreo. By the way, what a cursed name that is.
Ew.
If you're allowed to share, do you have any particularly funny outtakes or memories from recording that didn't make the final cut of anything?
Oh, of anything. Um, hmm. I mean, oh gosh, it's so hard to remember. Funny outtakes. Funny outtakes. Not really, but at least with Aigis, like it wasn't really an outtake, but people always ask me what it was like recording the ass line.
I like that's like the first one they all have to know. Tell me what the ass line.
Because like while it wasn't necessarily an outtake, it was definitely scripted. Um, I what people didn't see, what people can't see, is that during that whole recording, I was like pinching my hand the whole time so I wouldn't laugh. Cause I think they might have like changed it. I think it was something before that, but then they changed it to a new line and they said, "Hey Don, come back in," cuz that was the only line I had when I went in. And I was like, "Wait, you guys just called me in just to record this ass line? This is amazing. I love this." And so we record it and I'm like, "Okay, I have to keep as straight a face as possible. If you even hear a smile, any hint of a smile in my performance, it's not going to be funny." And so I'm just like,
Though
don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh.
those are those moments where honestly, like I love those scenes, but I'm like, oh, it would be so much more fun or crazy, like if you get to like do those as like group room recordings. I would like love to see those like actually like live acted out with everyone there.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to do group recordings. It's just it's so hard with video games especially. Just because like everyone's got different schedules, and we like switch in between. We'll switch in between, like, hey, we're gonna work on a bunch of story today, and then at the end we're gonna do some battle lines. So it would just be hard to coordinate having a whole group. But man, I wish I could, though.
It's the most like first world problem thing of like, realistically why it never gets done, but it's like, oh, but it'd be fun to do it more, even though obviously it makes everyone's job easier to do it separately.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I feel like us having our anniversary stream is like, to kind of make up for that, just be in the same room as the rest of our cast members.
Yeah, and that's also kind of the fun thing about like even doing like there was that like Anime Expo panel shortly after the game got announced where like I love
Hmm.
seeing stuff like that of everyone kind of coming together, whether it be before or after something comes out, just because
Hmm.
there's just not really enough moments ever kind of like that, or it's always just kind of fun of just like having that dynamic that is always kind of easy to take for granted, whether like it be for a 1 day thing or just like on anniversaries or things like that.
Oh, for sure.
Next question we've got is from Slayer Master, and it says, "What was your job before becoming a voice actor?"
My job before becoming a voice actor. Um, I didn't have too much of one before I became a voice actor, just because I became one when I was in college. But right before that, I did work at Cold Stone for a little bit to save up money so I could buy like a proper microphone. Because when I had booked Freedom Planet, I booked Freedom Planet off of the built-in microphone on my MacBook
Oh
Pro
hell
laptop.
yeah!
Sounded like shit.
I mean, listen for the
Um,
Sega Genesis authenticity though.
oh God, no, it sounded terrible. And the creator of the game, Sabrina, she was very sweet. She goes, "Hey, just a heads up, you might need to upgrade your microphone once we start recording the full game, because you're the lead and you have the worst audio quality out of everybody." And she said it very nicely. She wasn't
I
she
mean,
wasn't an
hey,
asshole
that's
about it.
nice though that at least they weren't like, we're gonna get someone with more than a $5 microphone.
Oh, for sure. I was, again, like, very, very gracious. She is lovely. Um, and so I said, okay, I gotta get myself a microphone. What's the thing that people use? Funimation is using Neumann TLM 103s? Okay, I'm gonna save up for that. How much is it? I think it was like, oh gosh, like $1,500, I think? Maybe more. Hang on, I'm gonna look. I feel like the price hasn't changed that much
I feel like
since. It
it'll
was
either be
like.
like more or horrifically cheaper. That's usually how it goes with microphones.
No, I was about right because I bought the anniversary edition. So yeah, it was about $1,500. So I got a job at Cold Stone and raised money until I had enough.
And now, are
But
you
yeah,
swearing off ice cream for the rest of your life, or have you ever set back foot into a Cold Stone?
no, I've stepped back into a Cold Stone. The thing I like with Cold Stones is they smell so nice inside. Like you walk in and you just get hit with the smell of waffle cones because they make them in house. I know because I burnt my fingers doing it.
Be like, this is where I
Because
used
you
to
have to
have
like fold
fingernails.
them. Well, you have to fold them while they're hot and everything. And like, I saw these. The last time I went to a Cold Stone, I saw this lady at the front, and she was kind of apologizing for the state of the waffle cone bowls. Like they looked a little jank, and I was like, "Girl, you are fine. I know how hard those are to make. I bet your fingers are burnt. You're doing great." And she's like, "Thank you."
Not all heroes wear capes.
Also, I'm like, "I will tip you. You do not have to sing the song for me. I know how annoying that
Oh my
is."
god, I forgot about the song. I think they've just given up on doing that where I live here, but honestly, I'd be in the same boat. I'm like, listen, I'm here for the carbs. I don't need the song. You're good.
Oh my gosh, when I worked at a Cold Stone, the manager, I won't name her name, but the manager, she was like a little too annoyingly peppy. And she was telling me, "Oh, Dawn, you're in a video game music choir?" Because I was in a video game music choir in college. And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she goes, well, you could sing Skyrim music while making ice cream for the male customers, and they'll give you tips. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Absolutely not.
yeah. Boy, aren't you glad you changed career since then?
Yes, but I mean, hey, I do miss the free ice cream. The ice cream's really good. Oh my gosh, and the strawberry banana sundaes. Oh, they were so delicious.
I guess actually, kind of speaking about food, they did have a second part to their question. They
Yeah.
said, "What is your favorite kind of pizza if you have one?"
Favorite kind of pizza? Ooh, okay. So currently, there is a place in the Burbank area called Dino's, and I think Dino's is like, I think it's an Italian spot. My friend Edward Bosco is like, hey, this is the best place you can get, at least in this area, this part of town, because he's a Chicago dude. And Dino's has a pizza called a lasagna pizza.
Oh man, I feel like
And
that's
it's
either real good or real bad. There's no middle ground on that.
oh, so what I like about it is that they've got like these big chunks of like ground beef on it, and like heavy with the sauce, very thick crust, and then these huge globs of ricotta cheese. And it is so good. If not that, spinach pizza.
Boy, we're really on both sides of the spectrum with those pizza choices.
I like, okay, it has to be like cooked spinach pizza, because I'll see like fresh spinach on there and it's like barely cooked, and I'm like, what are you doing? No, I think, what was it? Is it like spinach pizza from like Pizza Hut or something? I don't know. There's just something very nostalgic about that kind of pizza. Oh man. Now I'm thinking about other pizzas I've had. Like I had a truffle pizza once with like a white sauce, and that was really good. You can't go wrong with most pizzas, I feel like.
Well, I mean,
My roommate.
you
Hmm?
especially like out where you live, like there are like the one or two places like people swear by, but it's like you kind of have like you're sort of drowning in food options over there is like the hard part, especially with like eating in LA.
Oh, it's we've got so many choices. Also, speaking of which, with Dino's, my friend Ben, who's like the huge Shin Megami Tensei fan, he and I argue because he thinks the spaghetti pizza's better.
Oh, spaghetti
Nah,
pizza. Okay, no, hold on. Are we like talking like Italian spaghetti? I mean, I guess if it's from a place called Dino's, it would have to be. So,
it's carbs on carbs, baby.
man, spaghetti. I'm gonna have to do some hopefully like incognito Google searches after this. I'm very scared. I was really surprised. I had to explain recently. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you've never really had like Filipino food, but like I had to explain recently to like my wife where like she thought like if you ever go to like and get like spaghetti in like the Philippines or like at a Jollibee's or something, she thought that was like the same as like you go to like an Olive Garden get spaghetti, and I'm like, oh
No,
no, no, no, no.
no, you fool. No, it's banana ketchup.
Which like when I described it to her, she somehow like it like looked like she'd unlocked a new fear after discovering what it was. But I was like, I feel like she might enjoy it, but it's that thing of like, yeah, you don't really know until you try it though.
You let them try it, and then you tell them
That's
afterwards.
true. Yeah, and then she can find out
Mm-hmm.
about the hot dogs in there.
It's so good. I had Jollibee with some friends like a couple of weeks ago, because I actually haven't had Jollibee since I moved here, because I'm half Filipino. I have family friends who know how to make Filipino spaghetti just fine, but it's definitely cheap tasting, but it still hits that nice nostalgia spot. It's just so good.
It's the funny thing is I still haven't had a chance to try Jollibee. All of my experience eating Filipino food has just been like from like eating it like at like friends' house from like home cooking. But it's that thing of like I just kind of want to
So
try
good.
it because of how popular it is, you know?
Mm-hmm. You should, like, honestly. When I took one of my white friends, she's like, "This is well,
No, trust me.
like
As the
someone who's not
token as
Filipino."
the token white guy in the relationship I'm in, I understand that sentence a lot.
But it was nice because she was like, "I think this is the best fried chicken I've ever had, like fast food fried chicken." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, convert everyone Filipino food."
No, Filipino food, I don't ever get to have it as much, but I will always like say for it if you know someone who either knows where to find it or knows how to make really good like home cooked Filipino food. Very, very underrated like Asian dishes.
It's so good. It's so good because it's so rich. It's terrible for
Oh
you
no, yeah.
because we use a
No one
lot of
no one's going
salt.
on the Filipino food diet. At least not that not that I'm aware of.
No, no. I mean, if you do, like, you'd probably be having like a lot of soup dishes, honestly, like bulalo or sinigang. But no, like the good stuff is like the fried chicken or the sizzling pork belly or lots of fried fish.
Just lots of fried insert food here
Oh, so good though.
with lots of rice.
Yes, garlic fried
Oh yeah,
rice.
that's true. As my stomach is yelling at me, I'll push us through. Liam Omega on Twitter says, "What?" And again, I'm just making you have all the hard questions here. What is your favorite Persona song?
Oh boy.
There's no wrong answer.
Okay. I do like Full Moon, Full Life a lot. That's the P3 Reload opening. Um, I also, because I still need to play through it, but it's because I got to hear it in P3 Reload. I need to hear more of Maruki's theme. It's so pretty, and I want to learn how to play it on the piano.
Are you talking about
Um,
I Believe or the one with like the just instrumental one? So there's one with lyrics and there's one without lyrics.
there's a version with lyrics.
Well, he has two different songs, so it's like not the same like
Oh.
one with lyrics and like different instrumentation on both. But like there's his
Hmm.
Palace's theme, and then there's a his final kind of Palace's theme song is called I Believe, and that one has words in it. I
I'll have to check out that one because I'm thinking of the Palace's
Okay,
theme.
yes, that one is very very good. Yeah, that one's a lot more like somber. I Believe if you haven't heard it yet, I would say, because I'm a big song nerd, try to stay spoiler free on it, because if you don't hear it till it hits in the game, it plays at a great moment.
Oh God, I need to go back and play.
Just find like a spare 70 hours and you'll just, yeah, you knock it out any day now.
Easy peasy. And then I think Last Surprise is so good.
I want to give a little Aigis theme shout out, by the way. Don't doesn't get enough love. I really like that battle theme.
Yes. Like it's hard to pick favorites. So
Well, I
hard.
mean, yeah, and also, yeah, you probably look a little biased if you pick the one that where you're playable in. So
So Don't and Disconnected are my
you get
favorite.
royalties every time someone picks that version. You get at least one nickel.
Mm-hmm.
We got another question from Scrub Timer. It says, when it comes to dubbing, especially in Atlas titles, how much access, if any, do you get to have to the Japanese version for comparison of like lip syncing or stuff like that?
So, when it comes to recording, like for the most part, with lines that don't have lip sync, we don't usually hear the J beforehand. But for battle lines, I did hear Maya Sakamoto pretty often because those require specific timing. So I got to hear her a bunch. Um, which oh gosh, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here. I got to hear her over a loudspeaker when I went to the Sea Paradise Persona 3 Reload collab in
Oh,
Yokohama
nice.
last January. And it was so neat because everything, of course, is voiced in Japanese. But she was the voice on every ride, and you would just hear her like do the announcements on the speaker and talking about Persona. And I'm not fluent in Japanese, so I couldn't understand what she was saying, but I heard her and I'm like, I know that voice. I've been hearing that voice for months. It's her. It was just so cool regardless.
That is so funny.
But yeah, and then when it comes to any cutscenes where we have to do lip syncing, we will always hear the Japanese beforehand. So it gives us, it helps us sync up to picture better.
Another one I got for you is from Persona Germany. It's just the whole country of Germany wanted to make an account for you. They said, what is your favorite Persona character? And you don't have to say it in German, unless you really want to impress everybody.
Wait, hold on. Now I have to look. Oh gosh, my favorite Persona character. Ooh, that's really hard. That is
This
really
is the
hard.
episode of Sophie's Choice
Um,
questions.
Wait, okay. No, I need to. Now I have to look it up. Let's see. How do you. I need to see. How do you say this in German?
It's just going to be
Hold
one of
on.
those things you look it up and it's just the same in English.
They don't. The wiki doesn't have it in German. This is ridiculous. Hold on. I'm going to go to translate Google. I apologize if this is wrong.
It's the new
Translate from
canon. It's the new
English.
canon. You're the first Atlas translated German name here.
Let's see. Oh, so Joker is still Joker in German. Well, it says here like other alternatives would be der Witzbold, and then der. Oh gosh, there's a letter here that I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, der Spaßvogel. So both of those mean Joker and Germany. You can tell me if I'm wrong. So here's the thing. It feels like a very basic answer. Um, but I think that was the main reason why I played Persona in the first place was because I saw this character's design and I'm like, who is this dude? He looks so freaking cool. I want to play this game. I'm a huge sucker for good character design, and Joker is definitely one of them. After playing through P5, I think my other favorite character would be a tie between Makoto and Yusuke. Because I love Yusuke's awakening out of everybody's because it's so raw and metal. And Makoto is like, girl boss goals.
She is also pretty raw and metal.
Yes, and her persona's a motorcycle. That's so neat.
I think I just got two more, and I'll try and be quick for you. If you have an answer for this one, not a problem. If you do, great. Hassan would ask, was there any lines that stood out to you when recording Reload that were hard for you in terms of performing?
Oh gosh, I don't know if it was like a specific line, really, but any. Oh gosh, well, spoilers, but I feel like you wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't prepared to be spoiled. I think the hardest lines for me were like when Aigis is coming to terms with the protag's death in the answer. And that whole DLC was just tough in general because the big choice that they have to make, like, oh, are we going to go back in time and save the leader, or are we just going to leave things as is? I can't say that I wouldn't make the choice that Yukari and Mitsuru wanted. Like that was it's so hard. Like would you go back in time to save someone that you love, even though they sacrificed themselves for you? That whole DLC was just rough, and those, like, when I cried during that, it was very real. And I remember when we finished recording the story. When we finished recording the story, it was time to go into battle lines. And our director, Keith, he got on the mic and he goes, all right, Dawn, you finished the story. Do you want a sec, or do you want to start recording persona names? And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool to start recording persona names. And I go up to the mic and I go, nope. Nope. And I'm like, I was telling Atlas, I said, it is not y'all. Y'all are fantastic. It's a great script. You guys are amazing. This is mean. And I just left, and and they were all laughing. And I step out. I'm like, I need some time. And I didn't take 5 minutes. I took 15 minutes.
I mean, listen though, it would have been a great excuse to be like, "Wow, why are half of the personas sound like they're crying during the delivery of them?"
Arsen is a nami no kami figure.
Yeah, it's only the multi-syllable ones. Like Jack Frost is normal, but yeah, then the 15 letter multi-tier word ones get the crying.
It's funny too because when I told Xander that I didn't have to do Izanagi no Okami Pikoro, he was like, "What?" I was like, "No, no, there's only Izanagi no Okami," and he's like, "That's not fair."
Yeah, yeah, we couldn't afford the DLC. We had to cut it in the budget. Well, the last one is kind of more of a quick shout out, but I wanted to include it. It was by SSBB7777, who said, Don, you are such an inspiration in giving great pieces of advice and words of encouragement when people need to hear them from you most, and wanted to ask, what is something that you do every day that keeps. What is something that you do every day or something that you're always grateful for that keeps pushing you forward?
I think what is something that I'm grateful for every day. Oh gosh, I'm grateful I get to do this at all. It's very easy when you're surrounded by actors to get caught up in the grind and to get caught up in like, oh man, this person's doing all this stuff. I need to be doing more stuff. Oh gosh, am I failing? Blah blah blah. And then I feel like it's important to remove yourself from that for a bit and look back and see like, hey, remember when you were a kid and you wanted to do this and now you're doing the thing? Isn't that freaking neat? Um and I feel like that's so important is to be grateful for the stuff that you have and like, there's things that I've auditioned for that I didn't book, but then there's plenty of things that I did book. And gosh, I look at all this stuff that I've gotten to do, and it's all stuff that I enjoy, like, like Persona and like Mario and Fire Emblem and Dragon Ball, like all these things that I never imagined I'd be able to do. I feel like I'm getting off topic here because I ramble a lot, but um, I also feel like it's, you know, talking about stepping away for a bit because I love going to the planetarium, or not the planetarium, the Griffith Observatory, for
Oh,
instance,
yeah.
because it just makes all your problems feel smaller. And I feel like that's something important to remind yourself is that all of these stresses, I don't know, gosh, what am I trying to say? Like all of these stresses that you have, you can handle this and you can do this, and it sucks in the moment, but you are going to be able to push forward and get past these things. Like, like don't like I'm not invalidating anyone's struggles, but like you have to keep going. You have to keep going cuz I'll tell you. When I first moved to LA, I thought my move was cursed because like my dad died right before I left. And then then pandemic happened. Then my grandma died during pandemic. She passed of old age. And I was like, "Oh my god, why did I come out here? This was a mistake. Everything is happening and everything is hell and I should just give up." And I think what caused me to keep going is just kind of it was like a morbid curiosity of like, well, wait, what if I'm at my breaking, like, what if I'm at my breakthrough and I just don't know yet? What if I keep digging a little bit more? Like, you ever see that graphic of like these like miners in a tunnel
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
about to
Like right
give
before
up,
they're
and
about to
then
strike gold.
yeah, I feel like it's like that. It's always so hard when you're on that struggle bus, but you never know if the next thing is going to be your breakthrough, and you just have to keep going. If not out of curiosity, like, what is the next chapter in your book? You don't know. You can't read ahead. So, I'm sorry, that's a lot of rambling, but does that make sense at all?
No, no, that totally does. And that's kind of and honestly, one of the things I wanted to say, at least kind of from an outsider's perspective, that I've always really appreciated about you, even in like the past couple of years of just following you online, is I actually really appreciate how real you are on like your social media accounts of just kind of not only treating it like a platform of just being like, hey, here's the stuff I'm in, but even like voicing your frustrations, like talking about how you really feel, whether it be like, hey, I'm really excited about this, or hey, this really makes me frustrated about X, Y, or Z. And like that level of just like honest, like human transparency is still like such a nice thing and not always kind of seen online for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, my biggest frustration with social media is, and I get it. I get it to an extent. Like, we shouldn't really share our opinions too much because that could be a liability. Which, like, yeah, you should share your opinions in a very professional way. Like, don't go off picking fights with people, which, like, I obviously still need to work on, honestly, because it's very natural to want to, like, voice an opinion or an argument or something. But what bothers me is when people make their social media so branded. And it's like, you're a person. And I think it puts a pressure on people to not be a person and be like, oh, I can't voice that I'm having, a depression day. Like, people will see me as weak or something. But I feel like we need to be more comfortable sharing these things, like being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So, like, that's why I'm happy to share these things, cuz, like, you know, it, it's being vulnerable, but you're not really in any danger of being vulnerable. Like, letting people be comfortable with being vulnerable, cuz I'd say, like, going back to acting, we have to let ourselves be vulnerable in the booth. Otherwise, you're going to sound guarded and your performance isn't going to sound genuine. Do you need to go to, like, a traumatic place to get a performance? No, I don't think so. But you do have to be comfortable with being vulnerable to a point.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that, and I think it really goes to show as well, especially in an era where, like, I think for the most part, especially where people do obviously, like, there's different levels for everybody in terms of what they're comfortable and stuff with. It's kind of just finding that best middle ground of, like, what you want to put out there with it in terms of, like, how much you want to interact with other people versus how much of, like, you want to put out there, because there's always, like, those boundaries, and it's going to be different for everybody.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I'm glad that people respond well to those, cuz a lot of the stuff that I put on my social media, like, a lot of the advice I put is something that I needed to hear today, and stuff that I'm just trying to remind myself. Like, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to go at your own pace. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Like, because we all fall into that, one way or another. And, like, oh gosh, especially the imposter syndrome. I was talking to an actor who's been working since I was a kid, and I said, how do you fight that? And the actor was like, it never really goes away. Like, people my age are still getting that, so you're totally normal in feeling that. And it was nice to hear. It's like, okay, I'm not sucking at this. It just comes with the territory.
Well, I don't want to steal any more of your time. I know we're already going late, so I apologize for stealing you too long already. But Don, I
It's not your fault.
no, I trust me. That's why I always find it funny when people are like, "How long do these normally last?" And I'm like, "Well, congratulations. That means you've not looked at how long. Like, I think our longest show was like 5 to 7 hours versus, like, hey, these could go as long or as little as I ever need. So if I had someone who's like, I'll give you 5 minutes, I'd be like, sweet, I will be just as appreciative for 5 minutes as I will be for 5 hours. But
Nah, you're fine. I ramble too much.
no, no, but yeah, it was absolutely awesome getting to talk with you. We'll have to bring you back on when Blurple Persona 6 finally gets announced so we can talk about color theory some more.
Let's do it.
But where would you like people to find you online so they can see what I'm sure will be your soon-to-be GoFundMe post for your Aigis bust?
So, a couple places that you can follow me. You can follow me on my Twitch channel at Dawn M. Bennett VA. That is two N's, two T's, VA, like voice actor. You can also follow me on Twitter at Dawn M. Bennett VA, Bluesky at Dawn M. Bennett VA, TikTok, Instagram, all at Dawn M. Bennett VA.
Awesome. And yes, remember everybody, Raidou is out next month. Go pick it up. Persona 3, a couple million of you may have bought it last year. Just buy a couple more copies. There's a lot of systems out there. You can buy it on Xbox, PS4. Just find some guy in the street to go buy it on Steam or whatever. There's more copies out there to be bought, I'm sure. People can throw their money at it. But Don, I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everybody for listening. We will see you next week. Maybe with Don's roommate. Maybe not. Well, only one way to find only one way to find out.
Heck yeah.